Welcome back everybody to another video for my channel, Wolfy Face. Before we begin the explanation, allow me to say to thank you all for 300 subscribers. It's been a true honor to be on YouTube, the platform, for such a long time, and having, multiple YouTube accounts, and I'm always trying to just raise up my subscribers, and finally we did it after so long for me animating since I was at like 7 or maybe 6. You guys got me to 300 subscribers. My dream goal was to get past 200, and you guys got me to 300. I'm really proud of everyone, including my supporters and everyone who's been there since day one. Thank you for sticking beside me and helping me out and just supporting me along the way. So, before I make my thank you, which is an upcoming animation meme, I want you guys to know that I am very busy right now with a lot of unfinished unfinished memes, but I'm probably gonna drop them just to make this thing because I'm like really happy right now. But a friend of mine, yes, some of you know, some of you don't, me and Raven Tail 21 have come to better terms with each other. Now, I know some of you are thinking, like, wow, didn't you guys fight in, like, April? What are you guys doing being friends again? And then there's some people in the back that are like, they're probably just gonna play each other. Like, they don't know what the hell is they doing. Like, no. We forgave each other. We talked things out. We came to better terms with each other. For God's sake, I even forgave Shadow, which is a big thing. So y'all better believe this. Now, listen. I forgave her because, I just felt like everyone deserves a second chance, and I just want her to prove that she is, not gonna start fights anymore, and I'll make sure of myself as well never to start fights. So, yeah. If any of you disagree with me and Raven being friends, please do not comment. Please keep it to yourself. Things are better off said in your head rather than outside where other people can see it. Now it's time to begin Wolfy's backstory because I've been wanting to do this for such a long time because I have so much Wolfy map ideas. The problem is I never done them because a lot of you don't even know what the heck Wolfy what happened to Wolfy and where she is now. So this is part 1. And I apologize for the lazy art that is presenting itself in front of you. I just was very lazy. Forgive me. Now let's begin. So, everyone knows that Wolfy's parents are a normal wolf named Lapis, and her father is a Spekimus, which is a species of wolves who were born with black eyes. And these black eyes are very rare. For one, for instance, these Spekimuses are hunted for their eyes. Second, these Spekimuses have a rule due to this, is that you can only be with someone who is also a Spekimus. Now, it's more mainly to increase the population, because Spekimuses have been extinct officially. Like in this timeline, they're done. They're extinct. Since Wolfy was born, the timeline of Spekimuses went extinct. Even her father is dead. Yes, you heard me. He is dead. Now, allow me to explain more. So, as you know, Lapis and Colin broke up because the code is if you mate with someone. Mate sounds like a weird name. If you date someone who is not a Spekimus, then you are sentenced to death. I know, pretty harsh. I'm trying to fix it, because it doesn't sound right. Now listen. Now let's begin with Wolfy and where Wolfy's at now. So, there's a fire. Lapis's village got attacked by fire because there was recent news that a half Spekimus, was living within the village. Keep in mind, none of the villagers knew this because Lapis was very insecure about Wolfy. Like, she did not want anyone to know who she is, like what she truly is. So a fire attacked and Wolfy managed to escape. Lapis unfortunately did not make it because she had sacrificed her life for her daughter to run. So Wolfy is in the forest by herself. She has no one to rely on, and at this point is just so close to giving up. She doesn't know who she can trust, where she's gonna go sleep and live, so she's just on her own. Now, I don't want to go into this because I have not really written a backstory for her after the fire, so I'm gonna skip for a few years. Wolfy moves into a town. I forgot what it's called. I think it's Snow Creek. She moves into a village called Snow Creek. I could be wrong. I can't remember. She moves into a village called Snow Creek, and keep in mind she's old at this time. I don't mean old like a grandpa or grandma. I mean like she's she's not young. She's not like a kid. She's like a teenager. We'll say a teenager or an adult. Maybe in her 20s. I don't know. Whatever. She's old. She's younger. She's an adult. She's an adult. So, Wolfie's an adult, and ever since the fire, she's been very insecure about her eye, and no one knows she's a half-specked except for someone that she likes, Fandom. She only told him about her missing eye, telling him that she was a half-specked. Why? Because she liked him. No, correction, she loved him. Okay, so Wolfie is in love with Fandom, and Fandom knows about this, and I won't lie to you guys, he actually doesn't love her back. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, like, what? That's supposed to be the main ship. Like, oh, wow, broke your heart. Too bad. So, Wolfie has a crush on Fandom, and she explains to him about her soul, about everything about her powers, telling him that she's insecure about them, and he tries to help her. And then she tells him there's something wrong with her soul. She tells him that her soul has 5 sections. Each section of her soul has a different power. When her soul is normal, she's normal. When her soul is half covered with the dark ooze, her eyes can turn either black into slits or black into X's. But when her soul is completely black, she goes into like a god mode, and her eyes turn like hypnotic. And let's just say a single step can like shake the floor or break it. I don't know. I'm telling y'all that power is insane. Now, one day she was going to tell Fandom how she felt. Her heart was racing, she was running through the snow. In her mind, she felt such determination to tell Fandom how much she loved him, but something had stopped her. She'd frozen her steps, and she turned. Fandom was with Lapis. Lapis was known for being beautiful. She had beautiful purple hair, and her eyes were an emerald green, almost to hypnotize any male that looked her way. She was just gorgeous. She was soft and gentle and kind, and everything she did was so delicate it could charm a man's heart. But it didn't matter how many men liked Lapis. Lapis had a special place in her heart for Fandom. Lapis and Fandom were together. They met one day, accidentally, and had become very close friends. And due to them becoming very close friends, Wolfie had been separated a lot from Fandom because she had always come in the way. And every time they would walk together and hold hands and just be lovey-dovey, Wolfie honestly couldn't take this. So one day Wolfie, she talked to herself, and then she runs and she goes, I have to do this. I have to confess to Fandom. I have to get him before Lapis does. I don't have a choice. Because she knows she'll lose him if she doesn't. So she runs, but she stops, like I said. He's walking with Fandom. And suddenly, Lapis hugs him. And Wolfie is concerned and annoyed by this. And she thinks, Fandom's clearly going to push her off, right? He isn't going to, hug her back or anything. He doesn't like her like that. But then she notices something. Fandom is blushing. And he's flustered by the hug. Wolfie's heart instantly drops at this. He was supposed to like her. He wasn't supposed to like anyone else. They were closer. They knew each other more. Why was he so fond over her? She couldn't handle it. And her heart was suddenly surrounded by a dark ooze leaking from the bit of her heart, of her soul. This caused her powers to, grow. And with rage controlling her mind, her eyes had filled with black. Nothing to be seen. Nothing to be seen but a green X, showing her rage and madness. So she plots something to get rid of Lapis. Just for y'all to keep in mind, like I said, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, Lapis is the one controlling her, so don't think that, oh my god, she's a yandere. Like, no, she isn't. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. Now listen. Lapis is walking one day after she leaves Fandom. It's the middle of the night, and Wolfie attacks her blindly, and she kidnaps her. and she brings her to her basement in her home. Lapis wakes up. She's in the basement. She's terrified. She doesn't know what is going on. She begs for Wolfy to let her go. But Wolfy, still in like evil control, just grins and laughs. She looks her in the eyes and she says, "You knew you would get here, right? Don't tell me you thought you could get away with this." Now what she meant by that, Lapis quickly understood. She knew Wolfie's feelings for Phantom, but the way she felt for him too also gave her a determination not to give up to him. She cried and she begged out for Wolfie to let her go, but Wolfie had enough. And to silence the girl from screaming, she had scratched her eye to make the girl shut up as a threat. Lapis ended up crying to herself in the basement. Phantom notices something is off after Lapis leaves him. And when he goes to check on her at her home, he notices she isn't there, so he knows something's up. So he looks everywhere, and he stumbles across someone in the fog. Keep in mind, this is like 2 days after Lapis is kidnapped. He notices someone, and it's a wolf. Same, not like him, but like, she comes out, and she's wearing a lab coat, and she looks at Phantom, she goes, "Well, well, well. I know I've seen you before. Your name's, Phantom, right?" And Phantom's confused, and he goes, "Yeah, my name's Phantom. How do you know that?" She grins, and she just tells him, "Well, I heard from a certain someone that you know someone who's a half-specumus. I know I'm not wrong, so don't even try lying about it." Phantom comes clean, and he tells her the truth that he does, but he doesn't want her to hurt her. So the girl lies, and she goes, "Of course I'm not gonna hurt her. Come on. Look, Wolfie is endangered. If I don't get her back to my lab now, her whole species can go extinct. Look, I'm just trying to do you a favor here, pal. Bring her to me. I'll treat her well. I'll take her to a nice laboratory with a nice room and just do a little bit of test subjects on her, but she'll be okay. I'll let her out within the winter." Phantom, being a stupid ass, agrees, and he says, "Okay." So, finally, one day he finds Lapis. I still don't know how. Let's just say he sensed her, and he heard crying. So he went to the basement, and right before Wolfie is about to get finally kill Lapis, he pushes her aside, and she hits the wall. And this makes her lose, her evil side. She comes back conscious, and she goes, What happened? Lapis, Phantom, what's going on?" But Phantom, doesn't believe her. So he grabs Lapis and helps her up the stairs, and Wolfie begs for them to wait, but he doesn't listen, and she brings him up to the snow. Before Lapis can leave the room, Wolfie grabs her arm and toggles her to the snow, and she threatens Phantom to stay back. Phantom is confused, and he tells her to give Lapis back peacefully, and he won't hurt her. Wolfie's confused because she wants to know what's going on. Phantom makes a promise with her that he will keep her safe. So Wolfie lets go of Lapis. I'm making an animation of this, by the way, guys. Anyway, so he lets go of Lapis. She lets go of Lapis, and Lapis returns to Phantom, still really hurt, has a lot of wounds. And Wolfie goes, "There, I did it. You're not mad at me, right? Tell me you forgive me. I didn't do any of this." And suddenly, something stabs Wolfie in the neck. A syringe. And Wolfie falls. She's gone numb. She can't move, and she cries for Phantom to help her. Suddenly, a person walks up from behind Wolfie with a grin. It's the lab. It's the doctor. The lab, whatever the hell she is. Her name is Jasper. It's a girl, and her name's Jasper. She goes up behind Dr. Jasper, and she smiles, and she goes, "Well, I finally caught you. Your years of running are over, Wolfie." And Phantom's confused, and he yells, "Wait, you said you wouldn't hurt her." And the doctor goes, "Plans changed, I guess. You were the fool to give her to me." And she takes Wolfie. Don't worry, this is illegal. She takes Wolfie to the laboratory, where it's like a very big laboratory, which is guarded by a lot of guards. And inside the laboratory is a bunch of hidden species and stuff like that. Blah blah. And she puts Wolfie in her own cell. She tells Wolfie that there's gonna be a lot of stuff. And Wolfie's being abused at this point. The doctor really abuses her. She does illegal injections in her. She does terrible things to her. She tries to get rid of her power, but she can't, because obviously Wolfie's too goated. Now, so time skip. Rogue, you guys know who Rogue is. Rogue and Jackson and Hypno break into the laboratory, and they tell Wolfie, join us and we'll help you get the revenge you want. Now, Wolfy thinks that revenge is bad, so she tells her no, and then Rogue manipulates her and tells her that it's not really revenge, it's called justice, and that she needs it too. Wolfy, being a dumbass, agrees and decides to join their team. But Rogue wants to test her, so she tells her, before you join us, you gotta prove to me that you're really up to this. So she leaves Wolfy alone in the laboratory, free to use her powers to do anything, while the three of them wait outside. And when the door opens to the laboratory, there's nothing in there covered but blood, and there's dead bodies all over the floor. And Wolfy has her black wings summoned, her sharp black teeth summoned, and her eyes are just X's. She looks creepy as hell, which I want to draw this. Someone please draw this. And they just grin at her and say, well done. I guess I underestimated you then. Well, come on, we don't have much time. And then they take off. So that, my dear friends, is the is the end of the explanation. I want to make a map. Please keep watching this. Rewind. Do what you want. Understand this. Because if I make a map, y'all gotta understand what I'm talking about, bro.